I am on a mission to attempt to snap myself out of a cycle of procrastination, perfectionism, and break free from the tendency of starting 99 things but never finishing one before I self-sabotage my online tie-dye shop into extinction by way of vlogging to prevent myself from slipping into a months-long state of planning paralysis regarding what order to explain everything in. I decided I might as well draw each thing I feel the need to explain at random from this fishbowl. Orange one, okay. Orange relates to, so all of these are color coded. Now, orange relates to one of the more overarching themes, objectives of this idea that I call mission de-procrastination. The orange ones are anything related to this like tentacle of this mission de-procrastination concept: efficiency, streamlining things, implementing systems, and reducing or eliminating friction wherever possible. Pre-tied patterns. That's actually what I'm about to do next as soon as I go back outside. Get some tees that are in long sleeve shirts that are now damp and at the perfect point, probably just about to tie, get those tied into some patterns, some of which I need to get ice dyed right away today for made to order designs. I also intend to keep a stash of pre-tied patterns, but more specifically just like splatters and mindscapes, and also geodes, but that's an entirely separate slip, which I forgot to mention. I did add 5 new ones to the bowl as of just today. I still have only like an ever increasing number to get through, despite going through 3 already just the other day. Which, did I mention those include keep track of which is which from start to finish, the weed plants for the purple Urkel made to order design product page content, pre-made made to order designs. The whole goal is to be going through way more of these way quicker this time around. Another orange one. I feel like there's a disproportionate number of orange and pink. Inventory count sheets. And you know what? That's funny because I forgot to even mention that. On the previous one I just pulled, it even says keep track of counts, which is about the inventory count sheets that I made with Canva, I think just about exactly a year ago now. That might be the first evidence I have of ever attempting to make those, which I have in an attempt to just systemize things and get a better grip on just staying more organized. Also reducing the amount of times I do things unnecessarily. For example, if I were to get an order for splatter patterns or made to order mindscape design, and then I don't think to check my pre-tie stash first and then find myself tying more mindscape designs when I otherwise might have one pre-tied or even pre-made in the pattern I need. That's why I have a one for blank t-shirt counts, which is like, okay, this one is for pre-tied patterns. I have another sheet that is specifically for my pre-tied, or not my pre-tied, my soda ash untied stash, my pre-soda ash stash drawers. Then this other one, I feel like I have another one for some sort of blanks. Yeah, like my Cloffice inventory drawers. I know I have another sheet. Maybe it's just not in this binder. But the other one is for pre-made made to order designs, keeping track of which sizes of which designs I have on hand at any time to prevent myself from having to go and physically check every single time like I always do. Not only does that take probably exponentially more time than it would to just look in a binder, no, that would require keeping up with doing this, not only when I make new things, but also sell things when it comes to pre-made made to order designs. But then like the amount of time it takes to physically check my inventory bins and also oftentimes make a mess of them. Now here's the kicker though. This is something, even though I made these about a year ago, I have yet to really ever utilize them. I'm forgetting to do this like in frames. Okay, I had my hand more on the pink one. Tie-dye design dictionary. Okay, this is a web page. This is something that's much more well suited for mentioning in the website walkthrough video. This is the ways that it pertains to just like still in real life tasks I need to do in order to create the web page, which mostly entails like clothesline, what I always end up calling it clothesline content batching, but it's like just getting product photography things that hang side by side on the clothesline.
The next morning,
I don't feel like this hasn't even fully set in yet. Now I can no longer do the clothesline pictures I've been on a mission to get of every single made to order design I offer, because I just came home to some landscapers cutting down everything that's on the fence line for years. For the last, not like long before this whole vlogging idea even came to me, I used the clothesline and all the foliage and like overgrowth behind it as like a wall, like a background for product photography. I bet the trumpet vines are gone too. Those flowers I really liked, holy
later.
This situation calls for, once and for all, getting the privacy fence of my dreams installed. Hopefully, fingers crossed, sooner rather than later, so that I can resume doing what I've been in the midst of doing all summer long so far. Just did the measurements already today. We got the permit stuff printed out. Let's see what the fishbowl decides I'll be explaining today, since after all, that is what this video is supposed to be about. But at the same time, I do want to do this vlog style, so I can't help but incorporate like real-time things that are happening. Watch, if I pull the clothesline, I'm pretty sure that's one of the green lines, like green ones, the clothesline content batching. Wood crafting. Okay, that's funny because the fact that my boyfriend's gonna be doing the wood privacy fence and the wood crafting kick I've been on since early 2020. Well, I've been wanting to be on like a wood crafting kick. This is something I want to do for myself, purely as a hobby, although it does very much relate to this mission de-procrastination thing. More specifically, all of the content ideas and stuff I have. Now picture this, okay, fig tree pictures. Instead of the wicker baskets as like my risers, what if I had little mini wood tables, but then like burned and stained rainbow colors like this? That is like my dream. Not only has this been something I've been ideating on, did I say that correctly? Ideating on or about. I went as far as getting a whole bunch of wood crafting supplies. Given how much I have and how long it's been, I might as well have done nothing with any of it yet, although I've done a little bit. Actually, right here in my office in front of me, the light switch plate, that is one of the very few things I have finished. I have so many ideas for wood crafting. I had this idea I brought up to my boyfriend. What if you could make these little wooden mannequins I use for both my product page pictures, like the flat lays, but also like to stand up when I do like the fig tree content. In the last couple of weeks, he made the first ever prototype mannequin, kind of like a cutout to trace. Just after that, I was on Pinterest and saw this picture here, and it made me think, okay, do they make plywood? Can I get like plywood that has this type of cool looking wood grain to it? Then that could be, you know what, the whole point of this is supposed to just be a broad overview. All you need to know for now is mirror frame. Okay, another thing, there's a mirror frame for these mirrors that I have here. I also have one that's exact same. You know what, I need to measure them. That is something I have not been actively procrastinating. I just forget about it. It never crosses my mind at any opportune time. Let's get this mirror measured. But I also want to do like I think it was called like a pub table, something like that one day for downstairs in the tie-dye studio. It should go without saying, everything I'm saying about wood crafting, I want all of the stuff I make or that my boyfriend eventually helps me make to be like the wood burn, the show sugi ban. Is that how you even say it? I don't know.
Show sugi ban.
You know what I'm talking about. I want it to be like that with the unicorn spit, like tie-dye, rainbow tie-dye, like this, all of it to be like this. This is my favorite thing I've ever seen. 20 by 60. Note to self, 20 by 60 is what my mirror measures. You know what I forgot to say is about the fig tree thing. The reason I thought that I want to get more mannequins one day, how cool would it be if I had enough to span fill out the frame of like a 9 by 16. Yeah, I said that right for once. 9 by 16 aspect ratio. No, 16 by 9 aspect ratio, horizontal.
The next day.
Did I mention the mannequins? I feel like I did, but I know for certain I definitely didn't mention this part because it just happened. Instead of having the peg functionality, like these ones that I got from Etsy, he built a wooden block similar in shape, just a bit bigger, but in a way that it can be adjustable on like a metal or whatever type of pole, which is awesome because that then completely eliminates the need to stack wicker baskets and configure them at all different specific heights and try and get them just right, because then I can just like move the mannequin up and down a metal pole. But you know what? I won't be able to shape the shirts. I didn't even think of this until just now. Like the shape of the shirts, the way I feel like if they're just hanging like free fall. Yeah, I didn't think of that. But good thing I brought up the idea of, is it possible for him to do a block on the back side that has both, like a dual functionality for both this type of peg thing and also still be able to do the adjustable height idea. Also, he built a little prototype table I took. So okay, this ties in. One of the first ever things I vlogged back in June of 2022. I really want to get this antique cabinet out of this room. There's even a whole door back there. I just feel like it'd be really nice to have that out of there and have just a little bit more space. As soon as I was reminded of that, I was itching to just start on it right away. But instead, I'm telling myself that I need to get through all of the different projects I already have accumulated that are started and unfinished. Still to this very day, that antique cabinet is in my office. The only thing it's now waiting on, and the content opportunities. I never even considered that until just now. All the different places I can now add even more hooks. Hold that thought. What was I saying? Yeah, so the antique cabinet, all it's waiting on is I need to make room in the garage to put it in there instead. I also have a bunch of these things, like those rubber wood graining tools, I think they're called, in all the different patterns I could find. I was intending to use those for any type of wood that I can't do the cool burn thing to in order to unicorn spit it, but that's something I still definitely want to play with, but it's not going to be with the cabinets or the coffee table that I put on the curb in an attempt to start making space in the garage for this antique cabinet, which I really would ideally, it needs to be out of here before the end of summer, so I need to get moving on that. That's definitely a mission de-procrastination project too, given it's been something I've really eagerly wanted to do since probably pre-2022. I know I said this was supposed to be a broad surface level overview, but at the same time, all of that feels very relevant given how real time it all is. Let's see if I can keep it quick with number 6 before I get to dyeing all of the made to order designs I have tied. It's gonna be green one. This should be easy. Fig tree shape, essentially a product photography and video clip background, everything to do with the fig tree content, and is like its own entire tentacle of Mission De-procrastination.
5 minutes later.
Okay, I'm supposed to be talking about the fig tree content. The ideas I have for fig tree content have evolved to be much more specific. For example, the solo fig pics, as I call them, of each individual made to order design in order to make the size chart graphic to add to the product page pictures. Not to mention all of the pre-existing fig tree content that nobody knows exists except for me, since I've yet to ever do anything with all of the pictures I've gotten in the past year or two. Oh, now my mind's gonna be running wild with all the things I could have and should have said just now, but I'm just gonna stop there. I will move on to pulling number 7, at least I think that's what it should be, as soon as I get the ice and dye applied to the first side of a bunch of made to order designs. You know what? Possibly 2 more made to order designs, because I just got an order a few minutes ago. Let's check it out right now. Let's see where it's going to. The United Kingdom. Quick update on this whole privacy fence situation from the City Hall parking garage, because it just occurred to me. This parking spot I'm sitting in right now is very close to, if not the exact parking spot I had a tie-dye booth at when they did this like event. I don't think they do it anymore here in the City Hall parking garage. That was like my first ever in-person, like real in-person event. I just thought that was cool, but I just got my permit for the privacy fence. All of the materials were delivered today, so everything is ready to get going as soon as the Miss Dig people come out today or tomorrow. I am so excited and so grateful I will be able to resume clothesline pictures and other outside content soon, so much sooner than I ever expected would be possible. Before I can resume, okay, actually pulling things from the Fishbowl, I have a bunch more made to order designs to get tied and dyed. One 3XL tee, I was intending to make it in this made to order design, and then I put the teal in the where the purple was supposed to be. That is the first time I ever did that and screwed up a made to order design in that way. That one I ended up turning into a random one-of-a-kind multicolor splatter pattern ice dye, which is the first one I've made in a very long time, and I'm really excited and eager to see how that ends up turning out. Also, Miss Dig came out today. Here's what this finished t-shirt looks like. That ended up being just kind of a wild card multicolor ice dyed splatter pattern instead of the made to order design it was supposed to be, which I did get another one re-ice dyed, and that is now ready to rinse alongside a bunch of other made to order designs. I need to check right now. I'm gonna do this. Check my pre-made stash of youth sizes for a neon sunburst. If I don't have one in the size I need, I definitely want to make a whole big batch of like at least one of each size that I don't already have pre-made. Where is the Fishbowl? Here, okay, how about one more before I get to ice dyeing the Mindscape designs. Let's see what else I can get out of the way and explain. The green one, okay, these should be easy, so I feel like all of the green things are so overlapping and intertwined that I feel like I've kind of already highlighted a lot of it. This one I haven't mentioned whatsoever in the slightest. Okay, a content idea that I've been dead set on for the last couple of summers. It's something that is on a green one because it is seasonally restricted. It's something I have to do outside, which is I've wanted to set up my tie-dye tent, like my tent that I had for in-person events. I want to set it up exactly as I would, well, even better than I ever have or ever would be able to in person at an actual event, for the sake of content batching. And this is like one of the ultimate big goals of this Mission De-procrastination thing, because it's something I've failed to get around to for the last 2 or 3 years now. And a very important consideration I need to keep in mind, and is that it is reliant upon having so many, not only just one-of-a-kind finished ready to ship designs, but also ideally an abundance of pre-made made to order designs as well, in order to not only fill out the space of the clothing racks, but also then be able to alternate, like rotate, have some different variations of displays that I can get pictures of and video clips now too. We are already in mid-August, well, just past mid-August. The privacy fence, it is in progress right now as I speak. It's coming along great. My boyfriend did have to uproot and transplant one of my hibiscus plants though, so I'm hoping it will do just fine and survive.
The next morning.
The tie-dye tent one, I had an epiphany that it's not only been a few years I've been intending to do that, it's been 5 years that I've been swearing to myself each and every summer that it is going to be the summer. It was 2019. It was after the last ever in-person event I ever did in August of 2019. That is when this idea to set up just like you get the idea.